Good morning, everybody, and I hope that you guys have had the most awesome week. Welcome to Live at the Waterhole with myself, Sean Taylor, and the best team on earth. We are very excited that you're joining us today, and we start off with the cutest little goslings surrounded by mom. That is quite cute, I gotta say. Now, don't forget, I love talking to you guys, as you know, so please send us a WhatsApp or engage with us on our various social platforms, and we will be extremely happy to answer any questions or deal with any comments that you may have. Hopefully it's going to be a cracking show, and we get to see quite a lot of things. So we start off with our little cherubs, and I mean, just look how cute they are, honestly. And mom's done well. She's done very well, considering the fact that these Egyptian geese goslings actually don't do too well, I've got to say. From the areas that I guide, and normally it starts off with lots of little goslings like this, and you're only kind of left with maybe 3 or 4 of them, depending on where it is, because they get taken out by almost everything, from birds of prey to certain stork species like marabou stork, believe it or not, catfish, believe it or not, although I'd love to catch the catfish that would take one of these goslings, as well as different reptile species like crocodiles and also monitor lizards. So these guys seem to be doing very well, although should I say the parents are doing well. I think as a parent myself, let's own the fact that as parents we've done a good job today, and look how well our goslings are doing. Very sweet. Now, as I have mentioned before, the Egyptian goose is actually not a true goose species, actually. They actually are more closely related to shell ducks than actually true geese. So it's quite interesting, and we do see them together sometimes, especially at founders. We see the shell ducks and the Egyptian goose together in their little families, although they are fairly different in how they behave and the different things that they do as well. And with these Egyptian geese, they are monogamous, but they've got a very strong bond. So the males and females will stick together and mate year after year, and they both will fight over their eggs, their goslings, and territory as well. They're quite territorial, especially in the springtime when it's time to start nesting, which can be anywhere from cliffs to rooftops, trees, wherever. Sometimes it's up to like 3 kilometers away from the water. And they've got a very wide diet, these guys. They'll feed mostly on grass. That's kind of their predominant diet. I'm answering a question that we got on Monday. I just couldn't get to all the questions on Monday. So to answer the question, their diet is mostly grasses, but they'll eat seeds. I've seen them eat leaves before, and I've also seen them eat insects every now and again, in particular ants. So they are quite interesting, as we see mom and dad getting together now with the kids. Obviously dad's coming into discipline. So Ellie, you're saying you count 15 goslings. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Am I missing? What am I missing? Let me enlarge my picture here, Ellie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I count 15 as well, Ellie. I have our beautiful tech team here are refuting us, Ellie. They're saying, where's the 15th? Well, I would say that Ellie and I have got our spectacles on, obviously, and we can see the 15th one. So the 15th one, I think, is, so the ones on the left, there's 2 that have just come out, and the one was behind the other one. So try count now, guys. I think you will find that Ellie and I are in fact correct. Banterat, happy Feline Friday. Yes. Yes, there we go. So I've just got confirmation that there are 15. Specsavers, that's all I'm going to say. So Banterat, happy Feline Friday. Yes, this would be great. Feline Friday would be wonderful. I'm yet to see a feline, including a domestic cat, on any of the feeds while I've been on. So I'm hoping that with this kind of coolish overcast weather that's sweeping down, especially around the Botswana area, that we get to see a leopard that walks across for a nice, carefully selected cool drink, or possibly a cheetah who's just fed on something in the morning to go and slake his or her thirst after ingesting all that salt from its kill. It can happen. Don't roll your eyes at me, guys. This is possible. It can happen. It's happened before. Why can't it happen again? As we see these goslings discovering what looks like to be elephant dung, but it could possibly be hippo because it is close to the water. But I would say, just judging by how badly that food is digested, I would say that's elephant. And you can see there's extra dung there in the picture, so that's definitely elephant. So we're going to leave the family as they start to peck around the water looking for some food, while mom and dad watches closely, and we're going to head over to Naledi to go and see a dinosaur. And indeed, we find ourselves in the Jurassic period with a beautiful crocodile who is half in, half out. So it's trying to gather a little bit of... is it raining there? Do my eyes deceive me, or is that just insects on the water? I can't quite see. I think it's rain, a little bit of drizzle. But you can see it. He or she is charging their solar panel. Very relaxed, but never, ever, ever be fooled. These guys they can literally spring into action within, I mean, you can't even, it's within a blink of an eye. You would never be able to deal with one of these guys rushing out. They store a lot of lactic acid in their muscles, and it's an explosion. Pretty much. Almost like me when I crossed the line at Comrades, I jumped. It was the last little bit of energy that I had left over, basically for the next 2 or 3 days, if I'm honest. But these guys are explosive, and they are the apex predator. For me, spending so much time out in the bush, I'm yet to find a predator as cunning and as stealthy and as vicious, but yet calm on the surface, as a crocodile is. They do not mess around whatsoever. Darkmane Lover, hello, and thank you so much. It's good to be back, and I'm really glad that you are listening and you're out there, and you're saying you also love crocs. I love crocodiles. Darkmane, I've got to say, I'm a huge fan. I know they much maligned, and people are like, ugh, crocodiles, they like eat people, and they, I mean, there was that video, I don't know if you guys saw that video a while ago of one taking a cheetah. I can't remember exactly where that was. I thought it was AR, if I'm honest, because let's tell the truth now, pretty much everything you see, you've always got to check and see whether it's AR. There's so many times I'm like, no, that's not possible, and then I go into the comments and people are like, that's AI generated, and then I feel like an idiot because I'm like I'm standing there going, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought now as well. Oh yes, that crocodile and cheetah. So they are not well liked. They like the sharks of the freshwater. But it's because they are not well understood. So I think I never really have much of an opportunity to run through why myself and Darkmane love crocodiles so much. So if you bear with me, I'm going to give you a couple of interesting facts about them, and possibly to change your mind. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you that these guys, in particular the saltwater crocodiles, or salties as they call them in Australia, they've got the strongest bite force ever measured in any animal, okay, which is amazing because their top jaw is fixed. Only their bottom jaw moves. And what's interesting is if you had to go, and I've tried this actually at a local crocodile farm, if you go up to a crocodile and you take your oh yes, got a bit of action here. Don't go away. I'm trying to educate people on you. Now you want to swim off. If you take your forefinger and your thumb and you just hold their mouth closed gingerly, you don't even have to press too hard. They don't have enough force to actually open their mouths enough to make you dinner. Although I wouldn't suggest doing this, because all they do is they thrash around, hit you with a tail, and then you do become dinner. But I'm just this was obviously under supervision, so I was able to do it, and it's amazing because they can't open their mouths. However, when they close their mouths, that bite force is absolutely humongous and can go well over a ton. I mean, just look how stealthy it is. It's gone. Now, with the water being so muddy, especially around Kruger, you would never know that crocodile's there. So if you go into that little inlet there to, maybe do some fishing or to wash your hands or something, there he is going up at the top of the screen there. Obviously didn't want to be understood. Obviously was like, don't tell people about me. I want to stay mysterious and misunderstood. That's fine, Croc, be that way. But you wouldn't see that Croc. So if you're walking down now, unless you've got a fairly keen eye, that would just look like any of the other debris that's floating on the water. And that is what makes them so dangerous, is because in water like this, they you don't see them, and when they drop below the water, they have a special membrane that covers the eye. It's almost like goggles, and so when they swim, they've got their eyes wide open, and so they will come in and slowly, and these guys, it's a marathon for them. They don't rush anything. They slowly move until they get within striking distance, and then they'll wait until the opportunity arises. So they are, people will say to me, especially if I'm on a walk with guests, they'll say to me, oh, what animal are you most afraid of? And I'll say to them, probably with guests would be buffalo, but I'm actually the most scared of crocodiles, because at least with like buffalo or elephant or lions or something, you for the most part see them coming, and you can read their body language as well, so you can almost put the fire out, so to speak, and kind of disengage and move out, or at least get your guests out and then have to deal with it yourself. But with crocodile, you don't know, you don't see them, you don't, when they're in hunting mode, it's not like they open their ears out like an elephant or growl like a lion. They just come straight out of the water. So for me, they are the most, besides my brother-in-law when he's driving, the most dangerous animal that I know. And as you can see now, with it panned out, we can't see anything. It's crazy, isn't it? Now I'm trying to get a lock on the birds that are flying around, but I can't. If you saw me, guys, my head's like going round in circles, but I can't pick up what those birds were flying around. Probably they are little swifts, maybe, or Horace swifts that are going for the little insects on the water. Possibly some bee eaters as well, going for the insects. I can't see too well, unfortunately. So I'm going to go to some questions. Seeing as though we're still with the croc, we're going to head over to another waterhole. But Kate, in the meantime, you were asking, why will crocodiles eat anything? So, Kate, the crocs are they're apex predators, and when it comes to apex predators, it's the same with leopards. Leopards also will eat everything from, you know, a baby kudu all the way down to insects. You know, in some areas in the Western Cape and the Cedarburg in the mountains there, they have documented leopards eating termites, catching fish. You know, they just you know, with a predator, you're never guaranteed when your next meal is. So with crocodiles, they'll take what they can get. But a special adaptation that the crocs have got is they've got a highly acidic stomach, even more than hyena. And I can just imagine a hyena's stomach must be rough. The crocodiles are worse, and they can pretty much digest everything. So they'll digest horn, they'll digest so horn, I mean by keratin. So they'll digest the keratin, they'll digest bone, they'll digest hair. They can pretty much digest anything, whereas hyenas will sometimes cough out little pellets of keratin or hoof or something. Sometimes they won't even eat it if things are good. But yeah, crocodiles, well, they'll eat anything because they can, pretty much. They've got a rock solid digestive system. And here in the Mara, it looks fairly windy there today, but we've got a small breeding herd of elephants. And if you look on the right center, it looks like they positioned themselves perfectly for size. So we've got little, middle, biggie. And there looks like the one's coming up on the left, there's a female, and she's got a small little cherub behind as well. Small little baby. Cute, man. So, Hillary, thank you so much for your question. Hillary, guys, would like to know, do they have a stronger bite force compared to hyenas? So, Hillary, yes, they do. Hyenas are actually third on the list. They come in with a bite force of around about 650 kilograms of bite force. Second place, believe it or not, is actually a snapping turtle. And this obviously will be compared with its size. So it's not necessarily that it has more bite force than a hyena, but relative to its size, it comes in at number 2. So for any of my North American friends that are thinking of possibly going out this weekend and looking for snapping turtles, please keep your fingers inside the raft at all times, because you could very well be having your better half opening your ketchup bottles for the rest of your life, sadly, because that is enough bite force to take your hand right off. It's crazy, isn't it, to think something that small can have that amount of bite force. But yeah, unfortunately for us, I mean, our crocodiles have got a pretty major bite force. But the salties in Australia are just next level. They weigh in, I think the last time I read the info, they weighed in at around about 1.2 tons. 1.2 tons. 1,200 kilograms of bite force. I mean, you can't... What do you do with that? It's unbelievable. It really... It beggars belief, doesn't it? And Trixie Rose, you were saying you actually did see that crocodile cheetah incident happen. Yeah, it was mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing, Trixie. And just, you know, like Kate was saying, will they eat anything? Yes, they will. They'll literally eat cheetah. You know, they don't even care about the endangered species. They'll still go for them as well. Why not? I suppose if you're an apex predator like that, who cares?
What is the wild really saying? Over 4 unforgettable days in the Cylinder Spillway, you'll step into the ancient art of tracking. Guided by master tracker Renius Mhlongo, expect sharp humor, deep knowledge, and stories from a lifetime of tracking. Less classroom and more boots, laughter, and wild discovery in Africa's great wilderness landscapes.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Wild Earth Travel's newsletter is your passport to a magical journey. Explore exclusive travel options featuring special offers at stunning Wild Earth locations and all hosted by your favorite presenters. Don't miss out. Head over to our website and subscribe to the Wild Earth Travel newsletter today and stay in the know on all our unforgettable adventures. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
And what's the name? I can't see. I don't think it's a Goliath. I might need your help a bit, guys. It's a bit pixely on my side. So I would go with grey heron. I don't know what you guys think. You can let me know. It does have that kind of like that brownish neck, but I very much doubt whether it's a purple heron. You don't often get purple heron in that area. It's not really there. It could be. In fact, I'm going to change my. I'm going to change. I actually think it is a young, just coming into adulthood, a young Goliath heron. That's what I think. That brown on the neck was bugging me a little bit, and that very kind of distinctive grey feathering. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? You tell me what you think it is. I'm going to go with a almost adult Goliath heron. So guys, we're going to go to our zebra friends' cousins, slightly larger cousins, and go see what they are up to this morning. Ooh, and look at that sky. Of course, don't you love these Egyptian geese? They have to like... They've got to be like, listen, you're not allowed to cut to the rhino and I'm not in the picture. Okay, this is not acceptable behavior. As the rhino is just so used to these guys jumping in. But look at him. He is gorgeous. Beautiful male white rhino or square-lipped rhinoceros with that beautiful background, that sky in the back there. listening out with those ears. You can hear something walking behind. I think there was warthogs, that little piggies that were behind there. Just having a little listen, check them moving around like satellites. Oh, here come the whole goose family. That is the epitome of a photo bomb, right there. Beautiful sky, beautiful animal, and then the geese are just like quack quack, and they come into the into the shot. Oh, you gotta love them. Yes, that's right. You zoom out on those geese. They had their turn at the beginning of the show. We need to chat a little bit about our rhino friend, yeah. So Lenny, you agreed that it is Goliath. Thank you so much. I just needed just confirmation. I was it's that brown on the neck that kind of dissuaded me, so I appreciate that. Look at this guy having a big drink. So zebra and rhino are very water dependent. They can't survive without water because of their digestive system. Because the cellulose is digested in the hind gut, they need a lot of water to help with the digestion. And so these guys will drink 2-3 times a day. So if you ever stuck out in the bush, don't follow the rhino because the anti-poaching unit will probably be on you in a flash. Rather follow the zebra because they will either lead you to water or they dig. So very much like elephants, they will go into a drainage line or an episodic river, and they will dig and find fresh water, and by the time they've finished with it and move out, whatever water's coming into that pocket will be nice and fresh and cool for you. So just tip of the day. Hope you're not stuck. Let's be honest, rather use your phone and call someone, but if you are and you've got no cell phone signal, follow the zebra, okay? Lenny, you were also saying last night at Jackie Dam, hyena and croc had a tug of war over hippo carcass. Now, Lenny, I saw that hippo floating upside down. My son ran and grabbed me and was like, "Dad, something's wrong with the hippo." And we had a look, and we didn't see the hyena and croc, but the croc won, as you were saying, Lenny. So, yeah, you know, once they get those jaws clamped around it, it's very difficult to unclamp them. Isn't he beautiful? And look at that horn, guys. It's so big. It's thick. You know what I mean? Just and that's the main difference actually between, if you obviously can't see the obvious, between the male and the female rhinoceros is, well, at least the white rhinoceros, is that horn. The unicorn horn on their face there. The females are longer and quite thin, and they use that horn. They don't really defend any territories, so they use that horn really to dissuade any predators that might be interested in her little cherub to get lost. And then the male rhinos, it's a lot thicker, and they use it for fighting essentially. So the rhino can be quite territorial, not necessarily white rhino. They are fairly tolerant of males. These geese, I love these geese, they're so cute. They are very tolerant of other males in their territory, as long as they don't try and mate with the females. That is a no-no. And also that they don't meet up in, there's mom and cherub come down to the water too. And obviously as long as they don't catch up in good feeding areas. But if that, they are very territorial in terms of they do mark quite a lot. So if you guys have ever been out in the bush driving around, you'll notice that sometimes the white rhinos, their heads are down and they're just spraying and they're marking. So they're very, very big on their marking their territories and making sure the females know exactly where they are at all times, and that they do have boundaries. But unlike lion, where they won't tolerate anything coming into their territory, the white rhino will sometimes let it slide, especially if they are related. They'll let it slide, but to a point, obviously. So Eagle Lover, hello and welcome, and thank you so much for your question. You're saying that you've noticed in the Sabi Sands the crocodiles are now in the dams. Is that due to the rivers overflowing? So Eagle Lover, yes, 100%. So what will happen is, because the rivers are pumping at the moment, and they're deep as well, the crocodiles will move. So they'll do one of two things. Either they'll move into the dams, which is what you've noticed, or they will actually bury themselves into a riverbank and just wait until the water subsides. Normally the ones that bury themselves in the bank are the bigger crocs, the very, very large crocs that are quite old. They can drop their heart rate down to an incredible 3 beats a minute, and they can just go into a hibernation essentially. It's next level. I mean, this is one of the interesting things I was talking to you guys earlier about with crocs, and they can wait it out. So they would have done one of those two things. They've been around for so long, and these animals pick up on the barometric pressure. So what would have happened before the floods is the barometric pressure would have gone sky high, and these animals would have picked it up and they would have moved and they would have gone up to higher ground. As we've got a piggy that's now decided to come and have a drink. Looks like he's been playing some kind of American football or something with the markings there. His eyes running, and a beautiful, beautiful shot of him. Actually, if you look at those tusks and then those lower incisor teeth, this is a really a good opportunity to tell you a little bit about those. So those big tusks at the top, they use those for defense to an extent, but most of the time they use those tusks or top incisors to dig, and also as a show of dominance. So you'll get some that are so big it looks like a moustache. It looks like a huge big moustache. And that'll obviously, some of the other males will see that and be like, okay, I'm not going to contest against old Senor there. But the dangerous end of these guys are those lower incisor teeth. They are very, very sharp. They constantly rub up against those top incisors, and those are the ones that, if they are in a fight and they are trying to inflict damage, they will go up and hook. Which is really cool. But listen, for my bird lovers, we currently have a martial eagle at El Doño, so we're going to shoot over, and then at least we know our rhino friends will hang around, and Senor here I'm sure will hang around as well. Oh, have you ever? Africa's largest eagle, a stunning, beautiful martial eagle. How cool is this? Look at those eyes. So they'll have about 8 times the vision that we have got. Their vision is just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. And these guys are big. They are very, very big. I've actually seen a martial eagle in Kruger National Park take a baby impala and hoist it up into a tree and feed on it. It was one of the most ridiculous sightings I've ever had in my life. So they are strong, and they are really, really big. There's only one other eagle that is a bit stronger than them. And he got offended by me bringing up the crowned eagles. They are the strongest raptors in Africa. They can crush a small animal's skulls actually with their talons. But they are the biggest. I'm so sad that unfortunately he didn't hang around long enough for us to get a good view of him. But you saw those beautiful yellow eyes, with that beautiful white mottled breast, with that beautiful kind of brown, chocolate brown color. True eagle as well. You can tell sometimes if you guys are new into birding and you're struggling with the raptors, which is completely normal, one of the first things you should always look at is whether the eagle has their boots on. And what we mean by that is, do they have feathers going all the way down to their feet? If that is the case, then they are a true eagle, and then it'll be easier in the books or on the app to go have a look at your true eagles and try and find it there, rather than just paging through and trying to find other eagles, because most of your raptors don't have feathers down to their feet. Only the true eagles have got it. You have some pigeons there. They're like, oh. So now they won't like the fact that martial eagle is around, because they will fall prey. So I think what we'll do is hopefully we'll keep watching. Hopefully he comes back, and we're going to head over to go and find one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are busy chilling here. Please don't go away. Why is everything going away? So that is a terrapin. I cannot positively identify it properly. No! Oh, what is going on? What is happening today, guys? Why is everyone leaving? I can't believe it. How dare it do that? Okay, let's have a look and see whether we can find it pop up again. It's so funny. Is it something we said? That's so funny, man. Well, listen, while we pan around trying to see whether we can find Leonardo, we're going to head back to El Doño and go back to the tallest of the land mammals. Beautiful, man. Two big boys coming down to have a drink. Beautiful, beautiful giraffe. I love these guys. So for those of you that watch the show fairly regularly, you'll know that I always say, is that giraffe going to bend its knees, or is it going to go straight? What's the bet today, guys? I think the one on the left will bend its knees and the one on the right is going to stay straight. What do you reckon? Well, I suppose we're going to find out now if I'm right or wrong. Go straight, stay straight, do the right thing. Oh yes, I think I've got... Oh no, it bent. Oh well. I just lost my own bet because I didn't even give you guys enough time to, to do that. Oh man. Anyway. Beautiful boy having a big drink. And for those of you that are saying, oh my goodness, it's going to get a severe head rush and faint and fall down, don't worry, because these guys have an amazing adaptation. Watch him when he finishes drinking and I'll explain. So you see that little flick that he did. He lifted his head and then he gave it a little bit of a flick. That is because there is a special valve at the back of the neck that stops the blood flow going to the head when they put their head down. It's a loose fit. The pressure of the blood actually closes it airtight, but as soon as he lifts his head and the blood drops back, that flick just opens it up. And it's I've never heard of a situation where a scientist or anything has ever said that it's gotten stuck or anything like that. I think it's just a completely natural thing, like a valve in the heart. We've got a few females and a few males around. This is a cool sighting. And you know, it's funny, and listen guys, you are giving me so many beautiful questions, and I am going to get to them, I promise. But I just want to bring something up. Do you remember, for those of you that were watching, there was a time, I think was it at the end of last year, before everyone's Christmas break, we were seeing elephants at the waterhole pretty much the whole time. In fact, they just hogged the waterhole, let's be fair. And the only things that would be able to drink here were the gang of zebra that were hanging around in the area. And I mentioned to you guys that it would be interesting to see when the rains start whether those elephants will move off and go somewhere else and leave the permanent water. And it's been now, I think this is my 4th show now of the year, and besides one elephant that's come through, I think it's safe to say that those elephants are moving around now, and it's very normal. So when you get rain out in the bush, you get these little secret water holes that the elephants know of deep in the bush, and they go in there and they feed on the nice green leaves and grass, and they will drink out of those water sources. They'll also be on a bit of a route as well, so they'll know the areas that they need to go into to get certain nutrients. And these animals are very aware of when they need salt, when they need phosphorus, when they need calcium, and they know where to go, places to go and feed on. These giraffe will even chew on bones, believe it or not, towards the end of the dry season. If it's been a particularly bad dry season where the rain kind of petered out in February and we haven't seen any rain and it's now September, these guys will be low on certain minerals, and even though they get the greenery of the knobthorn trees, which are the first ones to flower and go green in the bush, and they get obviously first pick, they still need to get extra calcium when it's like that, and they will chew on bones. Now, I don't know whether any of you guys have seen photos or videos of these guys chewing on bones. They don't swallow it. They wouldn't be able to swallow it just because of their 4-chambered stomach, and being a ruminant, they would never ever be able to deal with it. They would basically regurgitate it back up and have to spit it out. But they chew on it, and they swallow as much as they can to be able to absorb the calcium. And Jive Bunny, yes, good morning to you. You're saying the more giraffe are arriving for their Pilates class, yes. And you can see that male is testing the female's reproductive status. So what he is trying to do is he's trying to nudge her to get her to urinate. You can see now, look at that. So he's pulled his back lip back, his top lip back, sorry. And he's got like a weird look on his face, okay? What he's doing is he is sniffing her urine, okay? Or sometimes they even will taste it. And then they pull that lip back, and they will engage an organ between their nostrils and their brain called the Jacobson's organ. And what he's doing is he's now trying to pick up whether there are any pheromones in that urine to see whether she's coming into estrus or not. I don't know whether he's figured it out yet. No, I don't think she is coming into estrus, because trust me, these giraffe are not shy. If she's got pheromones in her urine, he will just literally not leave her alone. It's actually quite awkward to watch, but very interesting behavior. Big guy as well, those big ossicles. So they're not horns as such, they're not extensions of the skull, they're actually part of the skull. We call them ossicles, and they are covered in skin and some hair. So he's going to have a nice big drink here. He's also a knee bender kind of guy. We're going to head over to Safari Hook. Let's go see if we can positively identify that heron as our... Oh, and you get that flick that I spoke of. This boy is on form today, giving us all these things to talk about. Okay, so this is a grey heron, this one. I don't think it was the same one that we saw earlier. That one we saw earlier had very distinct brown markings on its neck and a different coloration on its wing pattern as well. Lenny, let me know, what do you think? I don't think this is the same bird. Lenny and I are in tandem here with our birding today. But this is a grey heron, known around the world. You get them all over the place. And he's just having a preen and living the dream here. Mayeshi was saying that the giraffes look so awkward when they're at the waterhole. They do. It's not fun being tall, Mayeshi. I'm very tall, and I promise you, it's the amount of times I trip over things, bump my head. It's not fun. It's not fun being tall and picking things up. So I'm 41 now. I'll be 42 at the end of the month, okay? What's a concern is that when I pick things up now, I do and I make the noise, that creaking noise. Now, my dad's been making that noise for quite a while now, though, but I thought it was an old noise, like you make it when you're getting old. So either it means that I'm getting old and I just have to accept it, or it means that I need to possibly do some Pilates or yoga, which in itself doesn't sound like fun, because I look like a giraffe that's dying when I do yoga. In fact, I don't do it anymore because I get laughed at. It's really bad. So Lenny, thank you, just confirming it definitely is a different bird. Thank you so much, my birding friend. Lenny and I are on it. Any birding questions except East Africa? As you know, I'm not the greatest with East African birds. But anything Southern Africa wise, Lenny and I are on it. I love these guys, and you get them everywhere. So we do have some Ellies at Elephant Pan, but we don't often get to see these guys that are just chilling here. So I thought maybe just for you, Lenny, I'll give you guys a little bit of information on them, because they actually are quite they're quite interesting birds. So they basically stalk fish and frogs. They love fish and frogs. That's their main meals. And so you will often see them stalking, like he's doing now, just kind of stalking around the edge of the water, looking for any kind of movement. Now, for those of you who have been around, have done much in the water, in particular done any spearfishing or anything like that, will know of something called refraction, where the thing is in the water is actually not exactly where it is. It's off center a little bit because of the way the light hits the water. And it always baffles me how these herons and stuff have just taken that into an account. Now, whether their eyesight is such that they see where it is in relation to where it should be, if you know what I mean, or whether they just over evolution they know they've got to go 2 inches to the left. I don't know. It's interesting. I've never really looked at it, but this is one of your most widely spread heron species. And essentially, besides some very, very, very dry areas, you get them pretty much all over southern Africa. And they breed mostly in the wintertime. So from about July is when you'll find them breeding in areas that we called heron reefs, which are massive, humongous collections of herons, different heron species, that will nest along the water. They make these big, huge nests, and you'll get grey herons, you'll get purple herons, you'll get green-backed herons, and they'll all be basically breeding in the same area. It's actually quite ridiculous to see. He's now left as well. Jeez, honestly, I feel like it's something I've done. Jeez, off he goes. So I think we'll head over to those Ellies now and see what's going on. But yeah, within those heronries that I was talking about, they'll obviously pair up, and they've got very strange. Oh, check these Ellies, obviously going for the freshest of the water. Oh, how cute is that, man? Lots of water around. Check how green everything is. Botswana has had a lot of rain. Kruger has been hit the worst. But Botswana has had huge amounts of rain recently. As you see, these guys are going for the nice fresh water. I know it doesn't look like it, but it will be where the freshest water is coming out. Yeah, so if you ever are in an area where you get a big river system, keep a lookout for it. It looks very untidy. You know, my father-in-law reckons every time he sees a big heronries, he's like, oh, isn't that like a Bigfoot nest? Because he's obsessed with a show called Finding Bigfoot. And I'm like, no, Dad, we don't get Bigfoot here. I don't know if they do exist, if I'm honest with you, but I don't want to break your spirit. But no, that's a heronry. And it's quite interesting if you sit and watch. You can see all types of different species. It's quite an interesting thing to look out for. So Lenny, need to find a heronry at some stage in the winter time here in Southern Africa, as these guys are moving out now. But something is making them move. You can see heads up, tails out. This is what we call displacement behavior. So something, possibly another elephant, maybe a human, has gotten out to do something around the pump or fix something. But you see that dead straight tail, and the head up is a high annoyance from elephants, and unfortunately they have now wandered off into the Mapani thickets. Where to go from here, team? Okay, so we're going to head over to El Doño for some more elephant action, I think.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Which helps to heal wounds. I have seen crocodiles out in the bush that have had their top jaw bitten off. I've seen a few with their legs bitten off. and they just carry on with life. So basically, long-winded answer is they are, but it's very, very it's very rare. It normally, if they are going to get any kind of disease, it generally will happen when they're very young, or they're older. And the only time that I've ever come across a sick crocodile, is a crocodile that picked up crocodiles that had viral diseases that were in a croc farm, and there was a virus going around that the vets had to sort out, but other than that, nothing. This guy's having a nice time here, having a nice big bath, cooling himself down. So we're gonna leave this guy having his bath, and we're gonna head over to Tembe for some interesting behavior with some other storks, with some birds. So let's go over and have a look. So I'm being told that these guys were having a fight, possibly a fight over something. It would look... I see the ones spread out. You can see they're making themselves look bigger. So I think this might be I think this is boys just being boys, if I'm honest with you. You see how they're inflating that sack, that goulash sack. And it looks like they're listening to a pretty good tune. I'd love to actually hear it, but I think this is actually a fight. I think these guys are having a bit of an argument. At least the birds are playing along today. I don't know whether it is because they're breeding. They're not breeding at the moment. They bred already in the springtime. So I think this is just, there might be a hatch of something, possibly some ants, or maybe some flying ants that they've found, or a feed of something. I see there is a termite mound there. So I'm wondering whether there wasn't a hatch of something last night and they have found it, and they're just inflating themselves and making themselves look bigger just to chase each other off to get the majority of the food. I think that is probably what has happened. Pretty cool though. They're like naughty boys. They got caught and they were like, oops, okay, hang on, wait, the camera's on us. We better go, we better leave. See, there's some ellies in the background there at Tembe. Just see that big bum hanging out in the bush there. It looks so beautiful, so stunning there. Oh, there we go, nice. Beautiful male ellie. So I'm going to get to a few more questions, guys. Joe, thank you so much. You're asking, do black and white rhino ever interact with each other? So Joe, they do. It doesn't happen very often, but they do interact with each other every now and again. So they very rarely actually run into each other because they both have very distinct different ecozones that they will stay in. Black rhino are browsers, which means they eat leaves, and they hang around certain areas with certain vegetation, and it's very thick, very, very thick. In fact, as a walking guide myself, I don't go, if I know there are black rhino in an area, I won't even cut through thick bush, especially if it's tree species that they like to feed on. I actually won't. I I go around the other way, or I get onto a road and I go round, because the territory that they normally hang around in is very, very thick, and you don't see them until you hear that very distinctive snort, followed by loud footsteps, and followed by one or two other sounds that I can't go into on the show. But it is quite crazy. Whereas the white rhino prefer kind of, they like what we call marginal areas, so areas where there is a bit of bush to run into for cover, but they like open grasslands because they are grazers. They do eat grass predominantly, so you find them in more kind of open habitat. So they don't necessarily, unless those two ecozones meet and there's a waterhole in the middle, or possibly a river system where they come out and meet up. It doesn't happen very often. When they do, it's very awkward, very strange. Black rhino, even with each other, are quite awkward. They like make little snorty sounds, and yeah, it's very weird. I don't think socializing is big on their calendar. I don't think they have many bras, put it that way, or barbecues. So I've seen interactions happen on camera, infrared cameras in Namibia at certain waterholes in Etosha, which is very interesting. And Joe, if you are interested in that, have a look, jump onto YouTube and look for black and white rhino interaction infrared, and you'll probably find what I am referring to. Very, very interesting, actually. As you see, our Willie next door is looking for some more food there, and our Ellie friend was having a bit of a scratch. He's a big guy. He's huge, actually. Big tatty ears. He is in the prime of his life, this guy. I would say he's in his late 30s. He's in very, very good condition. Beautiful boy. So Hilary, thanks so much for your question. Very interesting question, actually, Hilary. You're asking me, if we lost a keystone species like an elephant, what changes in the environment, ecology would we notice? So Hilary, in southern Africa, check at him having a big scratch there. Thank goodness for trees. Who else would scratch them, I guess? In an area like southern Africa where we actually have too many elephants, if the aliens came down and beamed all the elephants up to Elephant Island, or whatever you want to call it, up in space, you wouldn't necessarily notice a change in the environment for quite a while. In fact, I think first you would notice the environment actually recovering a little bit, because they are so destructive when they are kept in areas. Now remember, Mother Nature's duty for these guys are the seed dispersers and gardeners of the bush. And back in the day where they were roaming around most of Africa, these guys would be paramount in spreading seeds and different species of plants into certain areas, which grew or didn't grow. But they also were big on opening the bush up a little bit. So I'm sure a lot of you that go over the weekends might go to a nature reserve where there's just kudu and impala and stuff like that. One of the first things you'll notice is, jeepers, look how thick everything looks. And that's one of the elephants' big advantages, is they open the ecosystem up. And what that does is it gives certain grass species and plants the opportunity to grow, because they obviously get more water and sunlight. It opens up new habitats for animals like the white rhino that we were talking about, which don't like that dense vegetation, and opens it up. And with the now new grass growing, they can come in and feed on there as well. So they are extremely important animals, but because they have done so much damage, we wouldn't notice any changes. Eventually, after many years though, we would notice that you just chased the woolly neck stalks off. What a grump. We would notice that the bush would start to get a lot thicker. We would notice certain species getting displaced because the grasslands will be becoming less and less, and it would be a problem. And the scientists would start noticing certain grass species being lost, certain bushes being lost, but that would be over a long period of time. So an area needs elephants, but where I studied wildlife management, and the figure is 1,000 hectares per one elephant. So one elephant in its lifetime needs 1,000 hectares on its own just to be able to feed and drink without damaging the ecosystem. We have way more than that. We have probably at the moment we have about 4 or 5 elephants per 1,000 hectares. So it causes big problems. But we're going to leave old Grumpy Pants there after our little elephant chat, and we're going to head on over to go see what else is going on. Ooh, and we got some baboons in the middle of their grooming session. It's so funny, man. It's a pity we can't see the other baboon who's got his or her back to us. You'll just see the ecstasy in their face as they're being groomed like this. This is very, very important for social bonding, social interaction. Sometimes if there is a male baboon who is quite upset or angry and is kind of running around dominating, sometimes the females will just grab them and start doing this just to settle them down. It's quite important. Guys are guys. We're so funny. Just grab us and start picking through our hair or giving us a back rub or a head tickle, and we just calm down immediately. I don't think we ever grow up past 10 years old. At least that's what my wife says. I don't know if she was saying that directly to me, but I'm hoping it wasn't. But you can see they're going through the hair and feeding on different ectoparasites that it's finding, whether it be ticks or fleas or anything like that. It just keeps the animal nice and clean. And it does actually look, I'm quite jealous. You see the rest of the troop in the background are busy feeding. Their diet is predominantly 80 to 90% vegetation. They are omnivorous, so they will feed on birds. If there's some leftover meat somewhere, they will feed on that. There have been a few times where big male baboons have actually taken a very small antelope like a steenbok or a baby impala. That has happened before. I'm sure some of you have seen a baboon's canines. They actually, figuratively speaking, they're actually longer than a male lion's canines. They are huge. So they are not to be messed with, but they do feed on meat. But most of the time they're feeding on whatever grains they can find out there, seeds. That's a big male that's just gotten up, that's being groomed. Different plants, and then whatever insects and stuff that they can find. So Penny, thank you for your question and thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. Penny, your question: why do some birds only eat seeds and others meat? So Penny, that is Mother Nature's way of essentially doing two things. One, dropping the competition down a little bit. You can imagine if everything ate meat or everything ate seeds, there'd be a lot more competition between the different bird species and a lot more murders between the birds. And also the second reason is biodiversity. So the more varied a diet of a particular species it is, the better it is for the environment, because you don't overload, so you don't lose certain grass species and others flourish or some trees are fed on only with fruit, and then other trees are not. You know, all these birds have got different things that they feed on. Some feed on waterborne plants, some feed on grass, some feed on bulbs, some feed on berries, and then you've got the fish eaters. And it's nature's way of just creating a biodiverse, which is what she wants. Mother Nature wants balance, and she wants biodiversity, as many different creatures doing different jobs as possible to keep the chain links going. And that's actually one thing I left out of my my story about the elephant as well, in terms of if you took an elephant out of the ecosystem, what would actually happen, which was Hillary's question. It breaks the chain, so to speak, Hillary's, as well. So, you know, your elephants are supposed to be there, and if you take one link out of the chain, it doesn't function anymore, it doesn't fit. Mother Nature likes to have that biodiversity. It's very, very, very important to her. So we're going to leave our ape-like friends here to carry on basking in the sun and grooming, and we're going to head over to another camp in Kenya and have a look at what's going on. So we got to Tobias camp. Isn't this beautiful? See, there's a springbok in the back there, so this is quite an interesting sighting. This is a beautiful elephant, and you're going to notice. Look at this elephant. I'll explain in a moment, but for those of you that watch quite often, I want you to look at this elephant. In particular, I want you to look at its face. Just have a look. I'll get back to why I'm asking you to do that in a second. But now this this area here is actually prime elephant country. However, you don't see many elephants here, which is very interesting. So this Tortillas camp, this is a really good sighting, actually. But have a look at this guy, right? I mean, I could throw a dad joke out there and say, why the long face? But I just don't think it'll go down well. So I'm not going to do it, although I have ruined it now. But have a look at how long his face is. Now, there's a reason for this. These ellies that you get around Amboseli are, they're not a different species, but they are some of the largest elephants you will ever see in Africa. In particular, they carry very, very large and heavy tusks. And if you look at that skull of this guy here, you'll see that he's just built to carry that weight of the skull and those big tusks, large in size of teeth. Isn't it amazing? He's huge. And now, if you airlifted him out of here and put him in Kruger, the other male elephants would be like, jeez. I don't think you can get a hand towel big enough for this guy. I mean, they're going to be amazed at how big he is. He's a different breed. Well, not different breed, but you know what I mean. He's a different kind of elephant altogether, with that different way that he is built. He's huge, guys. This elephant will be on the 6.5 ton ratio, which means that he'll be eating close to 650 kilograms of food a day. Just have a look now at that side, Watson. You can see how big that skull is. Just magnificent. And he's in great condition. You can see those neck muscles have not faded yet, and his head hasn't dropped below his shoulder line. He is in prime condition, let me tell you. Any lady elephants listening to the show right now, I reckon you get to Tortillas camp straight away. I think you'll be impressed with what you find, because he is a beautiful boy. Wow. So Tobias, thank you so much for your question as we watch this boy here busy feeding on this nice lush grass. Tobias, thank you for your question. You asked earlier, do other animals consider elephants as dangerous? So Tobias, I wouldn't say they would. As you can see, he's busy sniffing. He's obviously picking up a scent of something. I wouldn't necessarily say they are considered dangerous, like a predator, like a lion or something would be. But the animals are very, very wary of the elephants. Elephants are quite territorial over water, as we have seen many times on the show. So they're very, very, oh yes, there we go. And so they are very wary of these guys, Tobias. They, an elephant, if you get on the wrong side of an elephant, you've got 6 tons of severe grumpiness coming your way. And they, if you give them the chance, they will try and stand on you, or elephants can't jump, but they sometimes can lift and drop back down, and they'll squash you. So I think it's more respect than anything else. I think they're well respected in the bush for something that you just don't mess around with. I suppose it's like having, walking around just your average day, and then next minute Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pops out and goes and drinks at the water fountain. You're not going to go and tap Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the shoulder and go, "Listen, please, I want to have a drink of water. Can you just finish?" Because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will probably rip the fountain off and throw it at you, and you'll end up in hospital. So I guess it's the same. The bigger you are, the more respect you have, especially with these animals always going by sight. They always have, it's always about who's the biggest, who can make themselves look the biggest. Often it's a sight thing before it gets to anything verbal or indeed a fight. He is stunning, this guy. Absolutely stunning. And you can see how he is using his trunk to rip up that grass, and this is perfect for him because they only get 6 sets of teeth in their lifetime, and when that 6th set is worn down, it's worn down, and he will be on his 6th set at his age, and this vegetation is just so easy to chew. Nice and wet as well. Oh, what a life. I mean, he's basically found the biltong stash is what he's done. Notice how he will take the plant out and he flicks it in the water. He's getting rid of the grit. He's getting rid of the sand that's come up from the roots as he pulls it up. He might do it again. Instinctively, they are aware of, let's see, he's flicking it there. They are aware of anything grinding down their teeth, although he probably doesn't necessarily go, okay, listen, there's sand on you. It's just an automatic distinction that they do. And I'm sad that the old springbok in the background did not make a little cameo. I think it's only the Egyptian geese that are like, listen, just please step aside so that we can come in here and take over. Did you know we're related to shell ducks? If you didn't know, let me tell you. Whereas the other animals seem to just let everyone kind of get their moment in the sun. So Sarah from the UK, yeah, Tortillas is a new location for me as well, actually. I haven't actually, it can be fairly quiet, I think. Like I was saying, it's prime elephant location, but there's not a lot of ellies around. So I don't know whether, just because of the time of day, We get a lot of animal viewing around, but this is I am told that this is a very, very special sighting in this area. This is so cool. Look how big his ears are. That's a very large map of Africa, I've got to say. And the ear is, it's quite it's like a drum. If any of you have ever been to one of the elephant, what are they called, elephant sanctuaries, but you're more kind of the proper ones where the elephants are actually looked after and not hurt in any way, and you're able to go and look at these elephants. If you've ever touched an elephant's ear, it literally is like a drum, and if they flap their ears quite hard, it actually makes a noise like a drum. It's quite it's quite stiff, and that's why when elephants are getting quite old, you look at the fold, so the ear starts to fold in on itself behind, and that's one way of aging an elephant, is to see how that ear is starting to fold and the cartilage is starting to give way. That bird walking behind there that's stalking is called a blacksmith lapwing. I've got to say, that looks fairly delicious. I just love how he gets rid of the sand. It's so cute, eh? Busy twisting away there. I love this, man. So Melanistic Marble, hello. I just had a look at your message. Thank you for joining us once again. You're asking or saying you can see Kilimanjaro from Tortillas. I can't quite tell, but yes, you can. So on a clear day, you actually can see Mount Kilimanjaro. And where we are at the moment is actually just on the edge of the Amboseli National Park, which is obviously famous for its views of Mount Kilimanjaro. Oh man, I tell you what, how beautiful must that be? And tell me something, has anyone here climbed Kilimanjaro? It is a huge bucket list option for myself. I have, there's a baboon that's making his way to the waterhole. My schedule can be quite difficult sometimes, depending on where I'm guiding and what I'm doing. But so I can't always say I plan to do a Kilimanjaro trip next year, because I never know what I'm going to be doing. But I am getting to the stage now where I'm actually going to book out a certain month or two and just take the hit and actually go to Mount Kilimanjaro, and actually climb, because I think Everest for me, I would love to do base camp. I don't think I would try and summit. For me personally, I think the danger outweighs anything else. But I'd love to do base camp. But Mount Kilimanjaro, I would do in a heartbeat. We should actually do a Wild Earth Kilimanjaro trek with all of us, guys. What do you reckon? Should we chat to the Wild Earth travel guys and put together Kilimanjaro?
Join me at Mabula Private Game Reserve from 6 to 11 May 2026 for a 5-night private safari for just 6 guests. Just incredibly exciting. Enjoy guided walks, take part in rhino conservation efforts, and explore Mabula's beautiful landscapes, from open plains to rocky hills, alive with birds, animals, and vibrant plant life.
When the Mara turns green, life surges, the air hums, the earth stirs, and the wild comes alive. Here, the wonder never ends. It just changes color. Every storm, every sunrise, every sweeping vista is an expression of wild magic. Visit the Masai Mara. Experience the magic.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
You're asking, would white and black rhino interbreed? And if they did, what would the babies come out as? Sure, I would hate to have a grumpy white rhino, Anthony, because that would be a huge problem. But essentially, to answer your questions, no. They actually do not interbreed in the wild or in captivity at all. They just are, they're too different. The white rhinos are much bigger, their skull and jaw structures are different, and just due to the fact that of the size and also just the amount of time that they come across each other, it doesn't happen. And to date, as far as I'm concerned, there are no verified cases whatsoever of black and white rhinos actually ever breeding. Sometimes you get horses and donkeys that'll interbreed, obviously, but with rhinos, there's no hybrids. But how cool would that be? I mean, what would you call it? A grey rhinoceros? I guess. Black and white makes grey, am I right in saying that? I didn't do too well in art at school, but I'm almost positive. Like an elephant, I guess, like a weird grey colour, a grey rhino. It'd be cool to add to the list. An extremely aggressive, very grumpy, cannot walk up to grey rhino is probably what would happen. Melanistic marble, you're saying Mount Kilimanjaro is not too dangerous? Yeah, I agree with you. I've had friends that have summited. And it's cold, and when the weather changes, it can be quite. You've got to be fit, very, very fit, and you've got to. Apparently, they're saying that you've got to, be able to carry, not carry a load, but you know what I mean, like stay on your feet for long periods of time, have some stamina. That's the word I'm looking for. But you're saying Mount Kenya, I'm not too sure. I've actually never. I've never thought about that, melanistic marble, but yeah. Does that mean that you're in on our traveling to Mount Kilimanjaro, melanistic marble? Is that you putting your hand up? Are you the first in our team? See the baboons hanging out there. This is just so calming. It's like myself and the producer and technical team, we don't want to go anywhere. We actually want to stay here. This is just so, it's so cool. It's so cool, man. So cool. So guys, don't forget, keep the questions and the comments coming in via our WhatsApp and also our various social media as well. Let me know, have you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro before? Do you know anyone that's done it? Would you be interested in doing it? I'd love to know. And are you impressed by this male elephant as much as myself and the Wild Earth team are? We are super impressed by this guy. He's huge and he's stunning. So beautiful, man. Check how long his tail is. So I've got a question here from Nelson. Nelson, thank you so much for your question and participating on this beautiful Friday. You are asking me, will you ever be a guide on Wild Earth Safari Live? So Nelson, actually, funnily enough, I am actually going to be guiding in Chitwa from next week, funnily enough. So from Tuesday up until the 9th, I believe, of February, I will be in Chitwa guiding for Wild Earth Safari Live, which is going to be interesting. First time I'm doing it, obviously. And I'm actually really looking forward to it, although I am quite nervous. So you guys are going to have to be very gentle with me my first couple of drives. No major questions. No, what are the breeding patterns of the lesser known Narina Trogon or something like that? Nice, easy questions. What do rhino eat? What's the gestation period of a zebra? Just bear that in mind, okay, guys? But yeah, Nelson, I'm looking very much forward to it. I leave on Sunday to go up to... I live in northern KZN, so I'm going up on Sunday. And yeah, I'm looking very much forward to starting my Safari Live career next week. It's going to be exciting. So I think it's Jean or Jeannie, one of the two. You climbed Kilimanjaro and you're saying it's an absolute must do. It's not easy. So Jean, I have heard that. I have heard that it is worth every footstep that you make, but it isn't the easiest thing to do. I am in the pocket, man. I want to do it. I'm super keen. Yeah, hopefully we can make something happen with Wild Earth Travel and get a little group together. I will be checking this out and seeing whether we can make that happen. So Bella in Joburg, thank you so much for your question. You're asking me. Sorry, I got distracted. Does a giraffe sleep while standing, or perhaps it lays on the floor? So Bella, they do. They lie down. So what they do is they'll lie down and they tuck their heads in, and that's primarily how they sleep. And they'll sleep for about 15-20 minutes at a time. Then they'll get up and move on again, and they'll do this a few times a day. I have seen a male giraffe with its head kind of half cocked into a fork of a tree, who I was almost positive was sleeping because there was not much activity happening unless his screensaver came on or something. But for the most part, they will lie down. Oh, cool, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Erica, Lenny, Banterat, Lady Macbeth, Melanistic Marble. I am looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to, I'm sure, answering some of your questions as well next week. It's exciting, man. And like you say, Lady Macbeth, presenting live is quite the skill. it is quite the skill. And you know, as long as I have been guarding in and around Africa, it's going to be a whole different story. It's going to be very interesting. As we see, our big boy has noticed something off screen there. You saw his head go up. What's he doing? What's he looking at? Possibly another Ellie. So we've moved. We're going to leave him. What a beautiful sighting. What a stunning sighting, guys, and thanks for staying with us. We just wanted to hang around with him as long as possible. And now we've headed to Ellie Pan here in Bots, and as we arrive, the elephant at Elephant Pan has decided to leave, which seems to be the theme of the yeah. So we're going to head to Tembe, guys. Let's go see what's going on there. Ooh, check at these guys. Big boys. Huge. Jeez, this guy's also massive. Look at those ears. So yeah, Lady Macbeth, yeah, for as long as I've been guarding, and as confident as I am in my guarding skills, presenting is going to be quite different, I think. So I am looking forward to it. You need to give me tips, guys, because I know Erica, Lenny, Lady Macbeth, Melanistic Marble, you guys are like part of the family. You watch almost everything we do, so I need some tips. Give me some tips on what you think I should be doing, and what are the do's and don'ts. This will help me out a lot. I'll keep the messages and just read over them before I go live next Tuesday. So Lizette, I'm very sorry to hear, Lizette, that you are sick in bed. But that big elephant was a medication that you needed for your soul. Very relaxing. Yes, Lizette, and I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you get better soon. I hope you've got meds and you've got someone looking after you and you've got some chicken soup and you are mending, hopefully. And yeah, elephants do that. They have elephants have got how can I say? They've got an energy about them, don't they? Yeah, they have this, at least I find it's this relaxing, almost maternal energy about them, where, you know, if they're relaxed and you're sitting in the vehicle or you're fortunate enough to be on foot, you know, at a happy distance for everybody, there just is a calmness that comes over not just you, but, you know, the whole area when these elephants are around. They almost yeah, I love it. It's like a stress relief, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can't describe it. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. It just is it does something to your soul, and you're just a better person for it. I find, you know, hanging around elephants or even just being out in the bush, you just are a better person. You just, you know, you just are, you relax and you get rid of those stress levels, and it just, life just makes sense again. That's why I do it, and that's why I love it so much. So Melanistic Marble, you're saying whoever my camera operator is will help me. All the cam ops are great. Yes, they are fantastic, and they all are just the, you know, they. What amazes me with the cam op guys is how quick they will, you know, on a whim will just change everything, and the show just carries on. I think that is probably going to be my biggest Achilles heel, is keeping up with the cam op guy because, you know, they are so quick to just like get in there and change the shots or you know, notice something is going on while I'm busy chatting away. It's going to be amazing. So and then Lady Macbeth, you're saying talking to one person is your best tip. Don't imagine a huge audience. Lady Macbeth, I won't be imagining a huge audience, trust me. That's the last thing I'm going to be doing, because then I'm going to start like making like stuttering and making all kinds of weird noises and mixing animals up. Oh, look, that's a springbok. Oh wait, no, sorry, impala. So if I do that, Lady Macbeth, you know that I'm now thinking about the audience and I'm not actually just talking to the cam op guy. And Erica, thank you, I appreciate it. You're saying take a deep breath, we're all behind you. And Lenny, I'll read up on the Nkuma Pride. Absolutely, I will be doing that. I'm actually doing some training later on with everything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's going to be so nice knowing you are all there with me, guys, in spirit, watching. You know, it's like a big family. Wild Earth is like a huge, big family now. And, you know, all the names that come up, and you know, you get used to people, and it's going to be so nice knowing all of you are there behind me, behind the team. Every day you're there. It's just remarkable, the family that we have, and how well you guys treat us, and you always have our back, and so we're so appreciative of you guys. Every comment you make, every question, every time you defend us, whether it be the Safari Live or the Live at the Waterhole, we do appreciate it a lot, and we love you guys. You're the best of the best. But I'm going to go to a question from David Zulu. You're asking, what is that liquid from their temples? So David, elephants have got a temporal gland, which is essentially, as the name says, on their temple. We call it an emotional gland, because you never know with the elephants what they're actually feeling when you see that liquid running. So a really big male, and well, these two males at the back here, when you see that liquid on the side of their face, normally it's because they're going into must. Must is actually an Indian word meaning arousal, and you spell it M-U-S-T-H. And it's essentially when they become sexually aroused, when they are looking for a mate. And that liquid will run, but the problem is, David, they get fairly aggressive when they are in must. And so you got to be very, very careful with them, especially if you are on foot. Did you see those elephants had a tandem ear flap there? I don't know if you guys noticed. So yeah, David, you've got to watch out on foot, and even in the vehicle. Sometimes you've got to be careful and just keep a lookout on the animal when they are like that. In particular, when they're also weeping from their private parts, essentially from their penis sheath. Sometimes they will leak liquid from there as well. And you'll see on the inside of their legs, it is very wet, and it stinks. Let me tell you, an elephant bull in full must pongs. He really does not smell nice. You'll smell him before you see him, essentially. And when that happens, you stay away. You leave them alone, because any excuse to take their frustration out on something they will do, and a game vehicle with tourists is a likely opportunity for them. Likewise with the females, they also have these temporal glands, and they too, when they get aroused or they get angry, that gland will run as well. But with the females, it also sometimes happens that they get excited. So if a new baby elephant is born in the herd, excuse me, or they meet up with other elephants that they haven't seen in a while, and they get happy, essentially, and that gland will run as well. So there's a few instances, and you've got to kind of take heed to each scenario and decide whether it's worth visiting that elephant depending on the scenario, or whether it's better just to tuck tail and run. Sometimes it is better to just tuck tail and run. But it looks like he's been to a few rock festivals, this big bull elephant. You can see he's had a few earrings in his time. He looks quite docile, but I reckon he's a Metallica fan. I reckon when he goes off into the bush at night, he puts his massive earphones on and he listens to a bit of the old Metallica. I think that's just the energy I get. See the little earring holes that he used to have. Looks like he's seen it all. He's been there, done that, ripped the t-shirt. That's what it looks like. And you can see those beautiful tusks that both of these boys have got. Tembe Elephant Park is northern KwaZulu-Natal, not too far from Mozambique. And for any of you overlanders or people who like to do wild camping, fairly close to a reserve called Somkanda, which is a beautiful game reserve. Not many people know about it. It's actually run by the local community, but they have the most phenomenal. They've got a camp in there, which is beautiful, and then they also have a few wild camping grounds that you can go to, which is completely unfenced. You literally just go there with your camper or your tent, and it's a beautiful place, and you get elephants walking through camp. They've got lions there. It's such a beautiful place. It's not far from there. You can see the bush is a little bit different, a lot more overgrown, typical of northern KZN at this time of year with all the rain that we've had. But northern KZN has got some big strands. So northern KZN is almost like the original animal place, like in particular for rhinos. So pretty much all of your rhino species in southern Africa can actually track their genetic information back to rhinos that were in Shushlui and Mfolozi. Most of your rhinos have actually come from that area. And I can tell you from experience that the ellies, the warthogs in particular, the kudu in northern KZN are massive, absolutely massive. The genetics are very, very strong. But we're going to leave these guys. We're going to leave the old rock music fan here and his friend at the back there. And we're going to go head off and see what a few other elephants are doing. Ooh, nice. So we got a little breeding herd here with a grumpy uncle in the background, a blue wildebeest. Interesting. We've got a big bull elephant here. In the background there, he is sniffing. I think he's he's either located or is looking for a female in heat. You can see he's busy sniffing and trying to figure it out. The females seem very relaxed with him being there, so he has been around the herd for a bit. Normally when the males come into the herd first, the females are get quite upset and quite aggressive. But I said, it looks like he's just testing everyone's reproductive status. It's not very subtle, is it? I don't think unless there's a weird little village somewhere, probably on the East Rand, that's allowed. I don't think generally speaking you would be allowed to do that in a club / bar. I think he'd have to be a bit more subtle, but for him, he's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. Whoa. This is action-packed.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Apologies everyone, and hello mommy. Busy basically splabbing saying that I'm nervous but I'll be fine, and thanks mom. Hey listen, talking, it seems as though you're listening mom and commenting. Remember, I am going to be 42 years old on the 31st of January. So what am I getting as a gift when I get home? Start thinking about birthday presents, Mom. It's never too early to think about an expensive, over-the-top birthday present for your favorite son. Just saying. It looks like such a beautiful day there. All the little ellies of different sizes. Looks like there's a zebra, I think. Let me zoom in. Yeah, there's a zebra on the right hand side, moving to the right end of the screen as you look at it now. And seeing as though I've zoomed in, I also see there are closest to us from our side on the screen, there's a small flock of white-faced whistling ducks that are chillaxing in the water there. And these guys are happy as larks. I've always wondered about that saying. How do you know that a lark is happy? Is it because it sings nicely, maybe? Always wondered about that saying. You know, sometimes you have sayings in the English language and you say it and then straight away you think, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know actually where that came from. I'm very big on doing that as well, especially if I've got new guests and I'm got my verbal diarrhea about the impala we've just seen or something like that. I will throw out the most ridiculous like English saying that I don't use at home. In fact, I probably never have used it, but yet I throw it out there and then I think, start the vehicle and start driving off, and I'm like, please don't ask me what that means, please, I beg of you. Don't say, where did that saying come from, Sean, because I'll have absolutely no idea. Do you guys have any? I think we've only got 5 minutes left, so let me know if you have any sayings. WhatsApp us very, very quickly, or jump onto our social media if there's any weird sayings that you've caught yourself saying before, and as you say it you're like, where did that come from? Happy as a lark is my one for the day. Very chilled, that elephant. He is definitely, you can see he's constantly sniffing. A female will urinate now and he'll go over and he'll sniff it. Same thing as we saw that giraffe will encourage the use of that Jacobson's organ. And if he picks up that a female is an estrus, he will actually just follow her around until eventually they will mate. And we will have to wait for 22 months to see that baby born. That's right. Not 2 months, but 22 months. Imagine all those mommies out there. Imagine being pregnant for 22 months in one go. It must be, I don't know. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have 2 kids, and just being with my wife while she was pregnant, I think she would have just said no. I think it would have been like, let's have a baby, and she'd be like, nope, not being pregnant for 22 months, not happening, we'll adopt. That's probably what she would have said. And Sarah, you're saying this is a different view of Tau. It is. The Madikwe is a beautiful place. Lots of different little areas that you can go into. Very good bird life. Fantastic bird life. Lenny, you know what I'm talking about. All our birds. It's a really cool place. So guys, we are unfortunately coming to the end of our show in about 4 minutes or so. 3 minutes, I've just been told, not 4. So yeah, I am looking forward to, I would love to say meeting some of you next week, but at least you will see what I look like now, and get more of an idea of who I am. And do not ask any dodgy questions. Simple questions, no dodgy questions. Okay, Lenny, you've got my back, buddy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting the lions and the leopards around that area. And yeah, I'm very, very excited to be on twice a day. And yeah, guys, looking forward to it, and looking forward to your support. As our friend here has, I don't know what he's doing, but his ladies have left, so he's gonna have to make a plan. So Lady Macbeth, you're saying I must listen to the song of the skylark, and then I will understand why it's happy as a lark. Okay, I'm going to do that as soon as we're off and have a look. Animal Lover, thank you so much. Yes, looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm getting nervous, and we're still like 5 days out or whatever it is, and I'm already starting to get nervous. So guys, last minute, I just want to say thanks so much. I obviously am going to be off live at the Waterhole for a while, as I'll be on Safari Live, and then I will be around about doing some safaris here and there. But I will obviously be looking out for your comments, and looking forward to talking to you guys live on TV as well next week. Thank you so much. One of the reasons I am going to be on Safari Live is because of all your feedback and the love that you have shown me over the last 7 months or so while I've been doing this. So if things go south, it's your fault. No, I'm just joking. It'll be my ADD. That'll be my downfall. But much love to all of you. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And have a fantastic weekend. Cheers for now.